Shalom Israel, first and foremost. I do want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the born to the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching says truth, peace, and blessings to the public of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Frontline Hebrew. Ba'ashem is the name, Yahweh Shah is the name of the begotten Son. Back on our lesson. And today, going to be going to the situation at hand over there in Iran. As you see right here within this article, dozens reported killed during Iran protests as internet blackout persists. So another example and a prelude of what's soon to come to Babylon the Great, aka America. Because this is where the main judgment, the main destruction is going to take place. Now, you've been seeing a lot of things have been unfolding. Tensions continue to rise, as you especially just seen recently, which I may make a lesson going to Lord's will, where Donald Trump pretty much said that they're going to take, Greenland, whether they like it or not. And I'm just, roughly recalling, what was said. But you see, things ain't, going well for this world. This is a great and exciting thing for those in this truth, but a terrible sign to the people of this world, because you're seeing absolute chaos getting ready to unleash. But we're going to read this article, get a couple of scriptures, and that'll be the point. It says, where the things stand, at least 65 people have been killed and more than 2,300 arrested during 2 weeks of anti-government protests that have rocked Iran. So don't be surprised to see something similar and really some worse take place here in Babylon the Great. You've been seeing all this ICE stuff, these ICE agents, which are now going to become a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say aggressive, but I'm just getting ready to see them pretty much everywhere. Because as made a lesson yesterday, as well as other brothers have spoke on, going into these ICE agents soon to go door to door. And I just came across another lesson going to now they're pretty much stopping people, doing DoorDash, that they pick up orders and they go to people's houses. Now they're getting stopped. And just, various other things that we were seeing. So, and really I wanted to tie into that point dealing with these protests which you are seeing, where you had that woman got taken out by an ICE agent and you had pretty much these people in an uproar. So, you most definitely see things continue to turn up. But, scripture going to how we would see uproars of the people in the world. Sedition among men. It's prophecy. But at least 65 people have been killed and more than 2,300 arrested during 2 weeks of anti-government protests that have rocked Iran. According to U.S.-based human rights group, the demonstrations have spread at least to 100 cities across all of Iran's provinces in a wave of nationwide unrest over crippling economic conditions. So things are turning up. Protests have described enormous crowds and feelings of hope, but also brutal violence and bodies piled up on each other. In a hospital, a doctor told CNN that hospitals are extremely chaotic and patients are terrified to be identified amid the crackdown by authorities. And I read the last 2 points. An internet blackout imposed by officials is also ongoing, which is also what they do in order to keep information pretty much at bay from people communicating and setting up things, which is what you're especially going to see here in Babylon the Great, aka America. But it's imposed by officials, especially according to the feminists hearing this word, this truth. This is also ongoing according to a watchdog, but one of Tehran resident told CNN it has failed to quell protests. U.S. President Donald Trump, that's obviously make him even more mad. You're pretty much taking the internet from them. But U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Iran if security forces respond violently to protests. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. supports the country's people, so you may see tensions rise even further, which you've seen even a few months back. Dealing with Israel and Iran, where you had the U.S. especially pulled in. Now they're pretty much threatening them also. But let's see the last bit. It says Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali blamed the U.S. for inciting protests. So you're seeing tensions building and really the Lord's stirring that pot. But 2 15, 14 through 17, we'll go into the main point. But it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. What's more, they store these guns, these weapons. Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men. That word sedition goes to, riot, rebellion. Let's get that real quick. It's the conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against authority of a state or monarch, incitement to riot/rebellion. And for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another should not regard their kings nor princes, and not dealing with the people in power. For example, your presidents, your mayors, your governors, whatever the case may be. Excuse me. Whether their kings nor princes in the courts shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. Get a quick drink. But verse 17 also pretty much going to these lockdowns, them shutting this place down, curfews, checkpoints being held, and soon, martial law, to be declared, which you've seen, I want to say a month or two back, Trump alluding to pretty much wanting to declare it, but there wasn't no so-called justifiable cause. So knowing Esau Edom, he's going to form, create that justifiable cause. But the second Ezra 1-4, and it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how do we measure the times? There are these signs and these prophecies, and we're nearing the end. And when I see prophecies past, we told you before, then shalt thou will understand, or slightly. Out of verse 4 for a second, but verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit what he made. Verse 3, therefore, when shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. So another telltale sign that we are nearing the end of this devil's kingdom. Seeing these uproars of the people, which you are seeing, and which you've been especially seeing even going back last year. Where you had protests and riots in Nepal, France, Thailand, and I'm missing a few. But let's continue on. Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Got a couple more, and that'll be the point. 2 Timothy 3:1. And it says this, now also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So troublesome times are fastly approaching. Really, we're in the midst of now. This is Revelations 18 and 6-8. Wanted to tie back in that point as I brought up earlier, how America is going to catch it the worst. This is verse 6, excuse me. And reward her even as he rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which you have filled to her double, and this double is going to drink that cup. So you see they're going to receive double worse. Verse 7, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Especially just going to show the pride of this devil. You think he's untouchable, can't be brought down. Well, you get in the scriptures how they can be brought down. And the Lord can be the one to do it. Verse 8. As you can scripture how they shall build, but I shall throw down. But verse 8, there shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judges her. So I just wanted to tie back to that point. You're really going to Babylon, the Great Decay. America is going to receive it judgment the worst. Which you're seeing a lot of things take place in these various nations, but America's, it's going to hit it the worst. Ezekiel 12:3. This is another good point, because we're seeing prophecy. I don't want to say running rampant. Pretty much going to it, playing out. A lot of things are happening. Prophecy is speaking. So read the King James. I do want to get the NLT for mortification. Tell them therefore, thus say the Lord power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. But say unto them, days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. NLT, which is the point I wanted now, to tell the people, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I will put an end to this proverb, and you will soon stop quoting it. Why? Because it's going to be taking place and be playing out. As we've seen the very things unfold and taking place as we speak. So soon the prophets will no longer be doing the talking. This is why it's important to get this truth while you still can, because the Lord's getting ready to take it away. Now, given this new proverb to replace the old one, the time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled, and we're in those times. Closing out with Habakkuk 2 and 3, and it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." Where that vision speaks, these signs, these prophecies, the NLT, this vision is for a future time. Prophecy means to say before. Now, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the shall speak and lie, though tarry, wait for it, because surely come. It will not tarry, meaning it will not delay. These things will happen and will come to pass. We are in these appointed times as written and spoken of within the scriptures." So that's the point right there. Just quick lesson to the Spirit. When you speak on that situation, as our duty, especially as watchmen, is to blow the trumpet, sound that alarm. Yeah, we're nearing the end. But the point was made. I do close out. Give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Shabbat, Shem, Kakdash, and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.